On paper, the narrative feels almost inevitable, like a script written in advance. On January 25, 2026, in the powder-buried hamlet of Spindleruv Mlyn, Mikaela Shiffrin didn't just take the win, she put on a clinic. She
First
smoked
run,
the first run
1.26 seconds clear. Second run, total authority. The result was career victory, number 108.
That secured her 9th Slalom Crystal Globe shattering records, held by Lindsey Vonn and Stenmark, until they looked like ancient history. Scanning the headlines, you'd swear you were watching a cyborg operating at maximum efficiency. Just an icon rounding up the hardware she's owed before jetting off to the Milano Cortina Olympics to settle the score. But zoom in on her face at the finish line, and you catch a glimpse of something unsettled. Not pure elation.
You see something that is not supposed to be there. Not just joy, exhaustion.
Shiffrin loads into the gate
because as Mikaela Shiffrin stands in the starting gate for her 4th Olympic Games,
she is battling a phantom from the past, the specter of Beijing, 2022, where the planet's best skier collapsed on the sidelines, face buried in her gloves, crashing out of 3 signature events. Then there's the specter of November 2024, where a single millimeter of luck was the only thing that kept between her and a tragic end.
Her career and her life intact.
She's pivoting.
Mikaela Shiffrin is done trying to be perfect. She's trying perspective is the only reason she is still here.
Defying the myth that athletes are bulletproof right up until retirement.
Until they retire. We treat their bodies like hardware that never fails, until it suddenly stops. But in November 2024, at Killington,
the machine didn't just glitch, it was demolished. It was a high-velocity
The crash was violent, high speed, a loss of an edge that sent her flipping head over skis into the protective netting.
It was a puncture wound, a jagged tear through her oblique that stopped exactly 1 single millimeter shy of her colon.
Exactly 1 millimeter from her colon.
If that impact is an inch lower, or the gate hits at a slightly sharper angle, we aren't discussing a return to the slopes.
We are not talking about a comeback.
Organ transplants and life
we are
support.
talking about
Her rehab wasn't some inspirational movie montage, it was straight up hell. She battled
internal hematomas that would not drain,
unexpected
surgeries in December to wash out infections.
Here was an elite competitor whose entire career relied on core strength, suddenly realizing her abdominal muscles were effectively gone.
Suddenly finding that her ABS were gone. But the physical pain was not the worst part. The worst part was the mind-body.
This wasn't Hollywood drama, it was a cold, tactical paralysis.
And tell her brain to go, and her body would simply say no.
But her body would
she admitted recently that
recent admissions that she physically couldn't complete the course. Not because she wiped out, but because the neural link between command and action had been severed.
It just would not.
And for the
Your body knows when it is too much.
The ignition switch was
for the most decorated skier in history, the GO button was broken.
In this viral era, we are addicted to the all-or-nothing storyline, demanding heroes chase every gold and risk it all for the highlight reel. In
every
Beijing,
record-breaking risk.
Mikaela gave the crowd
in
exactly
Beijing,
what they
2022.
She entered 6 different competitions, tried to carry the world on her shoulders, and it crushed her.
In 2026, the strategy is surgical. It is bite-sized. She has officially nixed the downhill from her.
Is it bittersweet? Sure, but in her own words, it's also liberating. By walking away from the high-speed events, she is not. She's doing something infinitely harder for a goat acknowledging her own mortality. She looks at a stacked
US team,
talent like
a roster stacked with talent like Breezy Johnson, and a returning,
and basically says, they've got this covered. I can stay in my own lane. She realizes channeling the Elisa Liu strategy or the chalk and baits approach.
Late career mastery is not about holding on tighter. It is about letting go.
Gripping tighter. It's about letting go. By locking her sights on the slalom, giant slalom, and team combined, she is reclaiming her power.
She is reclaiming her autonomy.
Now she is the one drawing the blueprints.
On January 23, 2026, Mikaela sat down for a conversation that changed the way we view
legends. She compared notes with Simone Biles, 2 titans who have stood at the absolute pinnacle of their respective worlds.
Two women who both experienced a glitch on the world's biggest stage.
For Simone, it was the twisties in Tokyo. For Mikaela, it was the zeros in Beijing. Here's the cold,
Their
hard
conclusion
truth.
was this:
Fans
cannot relate to the wins. They relate to the emotion.
That is the secret edge for Mikaela Shiffrin in 2026. She knows that
She has realized that the 108 World Cup wins are not.
It is the fact that she crashed and burned with the whole world watching, and she has the guts to run it back. She admitted to Simone Biles,
She told Simone,
I have
yet to go to Cortina,
and
it might not end beautifully for me.
The nightmares are real. Most pros bury their
Most
terror
athletes
under a
hide their
wall of
nightmares
mental
behind a
toughness
wall of
cliches.
mental toughness.
Mikaela is broadcasting hers on a podcast because when you stare down the apocalypse, it loses its power over you. She isn't flying to Italy for an
The
apology
scenario
tour.
loses.
Redemption suggests a sin. Mikaela didn't sin in Beijing.
She just had a human moment in a superhuman career.
For 2026, she isn't hunting for perfection. She is hunting for joy. To understand why
2026 feels different, you have to look at the nostalgia loop.
Bagging win number 108 in Spindleruv Mlyn wasn't just another line on the stat sheet. That
where
was
she
the
made
sacred
her
ground
World
where
Cup
she
debut
debuted
at 15 years old.
The symmetry
Think
is
about the
poetic.
symmetry.
At 15, a prodigy with zero fear. At 30, a veteran who has made peace with the terror.
With
The
feeling
visibility was
fear.
a horror show.
The visibility
Thick fog,
during that
heavy
race
wet
was
snow.
horrific.
The course was a minefield of 90-degree cuts, forcing skiers to solve the puzzle, not just attack the hill. It
Rather
was the
than just
ultimate
attack
trial by
it.
fire for her new mindset.
It was the ultimate.
The old Mikaela, the one obsessed with domination, would have fought the snow and caught an edge. But
She might have
skied
caught
with
an edge.
purpose. She
But
crushed
she
the field
skated
by
with
1.67
intent.
seconds.
She won.
In a game decided by inches, that is not a victory. That is a demolition. Her seventh slalom.
It was
crown
her
of the
seventh
season.
slalom
Her
win
ninth
of the
Crystal
season.
Globe.
It was.
And the final proof of concept before the Olympic torch ignites.
She told the press, I feel 15 again.
I just love this sport. When a titan with nothing left to prove starts playing like a kid at recess, the rest of the field should be
terrified.
Eyes on the peaks of Cortina d'Ampezzo, the script has already flipped. The pressure of 100
The pressure
wins
of
gone.
100 wins
She's at
is gone.
108.
She's
The ghost
already
of
at
Stenmark left
108.
in the dust long ago.
The
The crushing weight of Olympic redemption is being dismantled by her own voice. Her war cry for 2026
Her new mantra
is
for
clear.
2026
The Olympics
is
aren't
simple.
happening to me. I am happening to them. A subtle grammar tweak, but a seismic shift in psychology. She
But
is
a
no
massive
longer a
shift in
passenger her own
psychology.
life.
It means
She's
she
the
is no
driver,
longer a passenger in her
gold
own
medal
career. She is the
competition
driver.
is younger and
Will she win
savage.
gold?
Killers like Camille Rast and Zrinka Lutic aren't just prospects anymore.
They are
legitimate
genuine threats who are
redefining
pushing the
physics of
technical
turn.
limits of.
But for the first time in a decade, the medal count feels irrelevant. The point is the headspace.
The point is,
It is surviving the surgery, the hematomas, the brain fog, and the crushing gravity of expectation. And choosing to step back into
and
the
she
arena
chose to
anyway.
come back anyway.
She isn't a victim of
She
her legacy.
isn't a victim.
She is the architect of the finale. Success in this game is usually weighed in heavy metal. But as we have seen with Elisa Liu,
and as we've seen with
the biggest power move an athlete can make isn't winning. It
It's
is only
choosing
a place in the sport.
how you believe.
Mikaela Shiffrin stands at the gate of 2026, body redlined and mind sharpened by fire. She
And a
knows the plan
mind that
might
is
shatter.
aged
She
and
knows
wiser.
the ghost of Beijing might still
She
be
knows the
waiting in
plan might
fog.
fail.
She has finally embraced the chaos. Plans disintegrate, and she is cool with the wreckage. It is
It's so
strictly
important
about
to be able
soaking up
to
the
enjoy
glory while the
whatever
lights are
moments
still
you
on.
can.
6 months out, the Italian history books are waiting for ink. Medals are just
The medals will be
destined for a
polished
shelf.
and put in cases.
That is not where the magic
But the
lies.
real story,
The real narrative follows a titan who stood on the edge of oblivion and clawed her way back to the start. Because
and
the moment
decided
you
to
stop
find her way
white-knuckling
back
for
to the
perfection,
start.
you clear the lane for greatness. Come 2026, Shiffrin is not hunting for a legacy. She is living it.